What's up, guys? My name is George, and welcome back to some more Chaotic Shadow Warriors. So, this is Future George here to talk to you guys, because I made an oopsie, and I kind of recorded this project in a van. So, like, I have a bunch of video stockpile, and I kind of lost the commentary to this episode. And rather than going back and playing, a couple hours of the same game again, I just thought maybe I will just, do a post-commentary style episode. And with this, I think I can also just give a little bit more information about Chaotic itself and the trading card game, and why I enjoy playing it. One of the main things about Chaotic that I really enjoyed is that when you actually buy cards, at the bottom of the card it had a code, and you would take that code and upload it to the website and have a deck online that you use to trade and play other people. And that was one of the coolest things about it. So it worked out because nobody I knew or none of my friends played Chaotic, because I got into Chaotic through the cartoon on 4Kids, and thus buying cards and playing online. And I made friends on the internet by playing a card game. And also, like, creatures have, different stats and whatnot, and that also make, your cards a little bit more unique. So in this gameplay you just saw, I kind of went to the right of Gigantopolis and explored a little bit. I found some more music, and it's mainly just been music that we have been finding throughout the entire playthrough so far. So maybe just like decrescendos or diminuendos, Song of Ember Nova, Geoflores, something along that line. And as we progress over through these platforms, we are seeing the directions we need to go. So also you'll be seeing in this episode is I cut out battles like this one, mainly due to the fact is that right now we are seeing a lot of recurring creatures that we have already faced. Just like that art right there, we also got I think it's Ember Flourish. I don't know why I kept this up for so long. But I will actually be cutting out unnecessary battles unless I want to show off like a new creature or like a new move, or there's actually a creature we have not scanned or battled yet. So be on the lookout for that. And also, one of the main reasons why I didn't want to go back and replay this game, because it autosaves, and that's a little pain in the ass. And here we did a little exploration, and we actually got the second music fragment of this ancient music that Bodil told that we had to kind of recreate. Didn't seem that hard to find the second piece so far. I really have no clue why it was just hidden right there in that nook to this, I guess, ruins. I don't understand why Gigantopolis actually has that one mutual fragment there when the shadow creatures, I guess, kind of like took them. Is that how the lore goes? I can't remember. So that was actually required, and with that it lowered the stairs so we can climb up, and we will be heading into a new area. Now we get to talk one of my personal favorite creatures in Momark.
Momark, what are you doing in Gigantopolis?
I'm on an important mission.
Are you looking for the thieves too?
No. Shrimp, no.
Giant DNA samples.
Well, you'd better watch out for creatures with glowing red eyes running around stealing battle gear.
I've seen them. They're everywhere. This is the sort of underhanded, dirty plot that
I'm
only
pretty
the
sure it's
underworld
not an
could
underworlder.
devise.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone in the overworld who would want to make creatures like that.
To be honest, it's been a long time since I actually played this game, so I'm not really sure who the main villain of this game is.
Perhaps I could help. If you send your codes to me, I can merge several copies of the same DNA into one improved code.
Now, when I was speaking earlier on
Would you collect 3 samples
in
of
the
giant
playthrough
DNA and
about
send them to
making
me?
our
Sure,
monsters
I'll find the
stronger,
DNA
this
sample for you.
is what we've been waiting for. So what we're going to do now is just do a little thing for Momark and find some giant samples, because I'm pretty sure none of you guys know really much about the lore of Chaotic, but Gigantopolis is a area in the world of Param where giants used to live. and thus why the ruins and the buildings are so huge. And I have no clue what Momark needs giant samples to combine cards to make them stronger, but I'm not going to question, game design and whatnot. But with that, I will let my friend here explain.
To Momark for him to merge them into one improved scan. This option is available when you have at least 3 same level scans of a creature. Select Refine. You need sufficient refine points to send your scans to Momark. You seem to have enough now. Drag 3 of the same level scans of areas to the refine slots.
So, once we scan, multiple creatures, or scan a creature multiple times, we have actually the ability to combine those scans to actually improve them. So we got 3 level 1 RESs, and once we do that, we will combine them into a level 2. And then once we get 3 level 2s, we'll get a level 3, and thus capping out our RES. I'm kind of upset that we can only go up to level 3, because sometimes, I think creatures can be a lot better. So you just see me going over trying to find what I need to do. And I thought I could go back and talk to Momark again to try to combine more of our scans. And I'm failing horribly at just platforming, because there should not be a platformer in a RPG style game. So the only way we can refine our creatures is when we're actually preparing for a battle. And to refine creatures, you need refine points. Now, if you see on the floor when I killed those, well, technically I don't kill the bugs. When I just put those bugs to sleep, they actually drop refine points. So it is in your best interest to shoot those bugs whenever you see them and collect those refine points. You will see me do this a lot later on, and I will be talking about it again later on, because I think I forget. So if you want to, scan creatures multiple times if you can, because I actually don't know when they pop up later on. But if you want strong creatures, try not to hold out on scanning them, because you want them to be stronger. And I cut out that battle right there because it was nothing new. I believe it was just I see Otto and Idacat, both creatures we've already encountered, and we just got the Axebet Amplifier Might and Wit. Now that's what I've been waiting for my Malvadine, because Malvadine, all his attacks are power based, and that will increase his damage output by a lot. And you will see that these Mepedians hit hard.
Refine points are needed.
Oh, speaking of refine points, my friend is talking to us about it right there. So that's how we will improve our creatures. Now, as I was saying about Mepedians, you will see they will be hitting hard, and that's what Mepedians do best. So we're going to be exploring a little bit, and we actually get a scan of, I think these stones contain nothing but battle gear and music, and then we get a Dragon Pulse shield right there. It just increases our courage to a certain creature, and and we got a Staff of Wisdom. Now, not the most practical battle gear, because unless you're like just a stat-based character, those really don't mean much. I personally am not a fan of it, because just 25 wisdom or 25 to any stat really isn't that beneficial. So the last portion of this episode is just mainly going to be this short little puzzle, and it's actually very tedious. So there's no battles. We have to open up that gate, and with that we have the 4 colors of the main tribes in the game. Blue being overworld, yellow being Mepedian, red being underworld, which we have not seen any underworld creatures yet, but it was brought up by Momark and Tom early on. And then green being the last one, being Danian. Technically their color is brown, but we have not seen any Danians as well. They will be encountered later on. So we are just going to finish up here in this area of Gigantopolis, just going back and activating switches for all those main colors. And once we explored that, we got more music. I think that was a Fanfare of the Vanishing, which is a really decent petty music for this stage of the game. I think it helps increase our damage, or does it make the first attack of our creature count as the first attack, thus resetting our invisibility, doing massive damage. I really do wish that Chaotic was still around, and with this we found the first switch. Just stand right on top of it and it'll activate it. But yes, Chaotic is personally my favorite card game that I've ever played. It was very different, a lot of different mechanics than typical card games have. And the strategies that went into deck building and all the cool things you could have done, a lot of the card interactions, it was insane, and it really showed the type of player you want to be and the ingenuity of your deck building and what you can bring to the game. Sadly, hopefully it could come back someday. That is my hope, that we can see the resurgence of Chaotic, and I will be playing the game in full force. Now that I'm older, I could just buy whatever I want, and I would buy a shit ton of Chaotic cards. Currently, what I'm doing with Yu-Gi-Oh, because recently, over the summer, I did get back into Yu-Gi-Oh. I have been buying a lot of cards and just kind of restarting my collection, and I've actually got a pretty decent amount. Now, I want to know if you guys have played any card games, whether it be, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, a Magic. I was never a Magic kid as a grown-up, but I know there's other card games like Duel Masters has his own card game. I'm not sure how to play that game. Card Fight Vanguard is one. And of course, a lot of different animes nowadays, they have their own trading card game, which I guess makes sense. But overall, Chaotic, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon were my main three as I was playing. And I'm horrible. I keep getting hit by this fire. Because you think I would know, fire equals bad, so don't walk through the fire. I'm actually kind of my mouth's kind of dry just talking for this long. Because commentating posts is actually more difficult than I thought it would be. But hopefully this will be the last time I ever have to do this. I will do a better job of securing and saving my commentary. I don't know what actually happened. I think it just didn't save, It's quite bright on my end. So we finished the left side of this area and activated the first two switches. Now we got to activate the last two. It's very simple, nothing too difficult, and thus making this game a little bit of annoying. I will not lie. And this area is filled with these bugs, so we are actually getting a lot of refine points, and you will see me use them later on in the playthrough to make my monsters a little bit stronger, because I will be saying this numerous times. I think you will need to have strong monsters for the late game, because if I'm correct, if my memory recalls, it's actually quite difficult. But hopefully we'll have a kick-ass army later on. I'm not sure if I will stick with one army. I'll probably be switching it off back and forth between the Mepetians and Overworlders. We haven't seen a new Overworlder army for me yet, because there hasn't been a need to. Yes, I have Maxor, but outside of Maxor, my Overworlders are kind of on the weak side. I mean, I do have a level 2 Arius and level 2 Dracto, but they still kind of suck. I think Arius has one Earth-based attack, and you'll hear me talk about it, I believe, in the next episode, because I will be using Overworlders. But I've been mainly using this Mepetian just because since I'm cutting out a lot of battles now, I'm just trying to get the battles done quickly and swiftly, because those battles do tend to take a little bit on the long side, especially if you're just trying to get scans of creatures. you spend time just like taunting and not trying to damage them, so your cards can be the best or the strongest they can be. So we are going to activate the last switch of this area, and that is none other than the red, signifying Underworld. I can't wait to, you know, actually battle some Underworlders, because they are personally my favorite tribe of the game. I believe my favorite, of course I know my favorite card in the whole game is actually Underworlder. Sadly, I do not own that card in person because canon cards are actually a little bit harder to find nowadays, since the game is not, or whoever was printing them before does not print them out anymore. Finding cards in the wild is hard, and they're quite expensive, and the card I like is quite expensive, and I will probably not be having one anytime soon. But with that, we are coming to the end of this little dungeon, so we're going to traverse back to the starting area and head on through to the next area of the game. And with that, we are in dramatic pause. Put that out. We are actually in Imparu's Jungle, the next area of the game. So once again, guys, I'm sorry for, you know, losing the commentary to this episode and doing this post, but I probably won't happen again. Maybe not. But with that, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Chaotic Shadow Warriors. Please leave a like if you're enjoying this, because I am. And I will see you guys in the next episode.